Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Emeritus and Murray Koppelman Professor here at Brooklyn College, where I have been for more than a half a century. I am an activist scholar researching, lecturing, writing, and photographing urban life and culture around the world. I co-edited with Zdenek Uherik, Local and Global Impacts of the War in Ukraine, that was recently published by Palgrave Macmillan. Let me tell you an interesting story of how this book came into being. In 2020, out of the blue, I received an email from the secretary of a recently established organization, the European Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. To my amazement, they asked me to be its president, and I accepted the challenge. I was asked because of my organizational skills, which I used to bridge the gap between Ukrainian scholars and the international community in response to the challenges they faced. I represented the Academy globally and supported scientific initiatives despite the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The Academy was created because in 2014, the pro-Russian government of Ukraine was toppled by a pro-European Union government, and almost immediately, Russia annexed Crimea and fomented rebellions in the northern and eastern, mainly Russian-speaking parts of the country. In the ensuing conflict, scholars there became isolated and sought outlets for their work. The European Academy of Sciences of Ukraine is a non-governmental organization, the main purpose of which is to pursue and promote the advancement of science and scholarship. The Academy conducts academic research across a wide range of disciplines and brings together scientists, academics, and experts with the goal of developing and popularizing science. Toward this end, it has many online conferences and publications. In 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of the northern and eastern parts of the country, making the life of my colleagues exceptionally difficult. I advised the members of ways to get support and even perhaps leave the conflict area. I then thought of a way to get my colleagues some needed exposure. I co-organized a conference on local and global impacts of the war in Ukraine that was held in Prague in 2024 and was supported by Charles University, the Fulbright Foundation, and the CUNY Academy of Sciences. 40 scholars from 11 countries participated, but my Ukrainian colleagues living in war zones understandably participated virtually. Out of the conference came the book of the same name. It is a careful selection of essays that encapsulate the most important issues stemming from the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. The contributions provide valuable insights into the past, present, and future consequences of the conflict. As the world is radically changing in response to the war, it is necessary to communicate this knowledge to academia and the wider public. The contributors discuss the invasion and its security impacts, such as Russia's use of private militias, as well as diplomacy and deterrence theory. Sensitive topics such as migration, minorities, and refugees fleeing the war are explored in detail. The book concludes with close attention to the theoretical and practical implications of the war on Ukraine as they impact world order and the survival of democracy in Ukraine and beyond. In the book, I have 2 articles: How Do Wars Become Unknown? A Brief Personal Reflection, which combines an autobiographical and an historical narrative in a futile search for honest answers about the whys of the current conflict. The second is Visible Means of Support, a photo essay in which I try to demonstrate how support for or against important public issues is shown in demonstrations and signage. COVID-19, Black Lives Matter, the Hamas attack on Israel, Israel's war on Gaza. Of course, most attention is given to support for Ukraine after the Russian invasion in 2022. Thanks for listening to this biography of a book, and let's hope that someday I'll be able to visit my colleagues in the land of peace.